Good morning, 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Down yonder, Miss Erin, getting local news ready, and it is up next.
The latest in the legal problems for Lynn Cawthorn, a Caddo commissioner. Some high school seniors might not be able to walk, and check that beef.
Those were the greatest tease headlines of all time.
You like them?
High school students may not be able to walk. Well, yeah, if they drink enough slow gin. And you were right. Some sunscreens are about to be banned somewhere because they are destroying the world.
How idiotic is that?
Speaking of, and there's one story that everybody wants to talk about, wants to know more about, and I think you know what it is. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Arraignment for Caddo commissioner delayed. Matt Parker with the latest.
A federal judge has postponed arraignment for Caddo Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Arraignment in the case was delayed because Cawthorn is attempting to get former U.S. Attorney J. Ranzel Keene as his legal counsel. Cawthorn and his sister are accused of taking more than $500,000 from a federal program to feed underprivileged kids during the summer. While Cawthorn awaits his day in court, he was forced to surrender his passport. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Some high school seniors in Caddo Parish may not be able to walk the stage to graduate this time because of the end-of-year standardized testing. Seniors are not allowed to graduate without passing the state exit exam. So if they didn't make the grade the first time, the results of the retest may not be back before many schools hold their graduation ceremonies. Shreveport Representative Cedric Glover won support in the House Appropriations Committee for his bill to bring parity to funding for the state's safety net hospitals. It was a close vote, 9-8.
Tight votes in committee are not anything new, but if you expect us to accomplish something great, you've got to be willing to dare to take on the task. That's what we're doing right now. If we don't break through this year, we'll be back next year.
Glover says he wants to try and balance this out to bring some clarity and transparency to the funding problem. People all across the U.S. will come together in prayer today for National Prayer Day. The day, created under the Truman administration, is a day when people can come together in celebration of their God. Locally, several events will be held, including a prayer service at the Bossier Sheriff Substation on Viking Drive at noon. Lonnie Carroll faces life in prison after being convicted for raping a woman multiple times at knife point. A nurse testified in court the results of Carroll's attack on the 23-year-old woman was the worst she'd ever seen in her medical career. He faces mandatory life. More than 35,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Kroger stores recalled due to plastic being in the meat. Any meat bearing the establishment number 34176 inside the USDA mark of inspection is being recalled. You can get details on this recall at KEELnews.com. The DeSoto School Board set to officially name the new superintendent today. Last month, the board narrowed the list of finalists to 3. Clay Corley, Eddie Jones, and Kathy Noel are left in the running to replace Dr. Cade Brumley, who's now superintendent in Jefferson Parish. A concealed carry on campus bill has passed in the House. The bill allows school visitors with a concealed carry permit to possess a gun while on campus, but does not allow school officials or students with a permit to carry Baton Rouge Representative Denise Marcel says allowing concealed handguns on campus would detract from educators' time with students.
Do you realize how much time this could take for a principal to take away or a teacher to take away from instructional matters in order to identify whether or not this person should or should not have a weapon on campus?
The bill is now headed to the Senate. Meantime, a bill to allow students to wear bulletproof backpacks is set for final passage after clearing the House Education Committee. The legislation, inspired by the Parkland, Florida shooting, got unanimous support. West Monroe Republican Mike Walsworth says something needs to be done about the lack of safety for our children.
We thought that having an officer at a school would work, but in Florida it didn't. He went the other way. Right now, they can't have any protection. No kid.
The bill now moves to the House floor. Louisiana inching toward one of the most restrictive abortion policies in the country. The House Criminal Justice Committee has approved a ban on abortion after 15 weeks. That would only take effect after a legal battle over a similar policy plays out in Mississippi. The Senate-approved bill moves next to the House floor, and Governor John Bel Edwards says he will sign it. LSU coach Ed Orgeron in Houston for the LSU football caravan stop at the Touchdown Club. And lots of fans are asking about the quarterback situation. Coach O says the battle to be the starter is pretty much even right now between Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse.
Justin probably had the best spring game, but there were some other times the other guys had the better scrimmages. So we're going to put their full body of work together. Coach has me and our staff. We're going to make the decision. Hopefully it's a no-brainer. Hopefully the guy wins it in August, but we'll see.
New ice cream flavor in New Jersey. A dairy farm now serving up Taylor ham ice cream. It mixes in French toast with actual pieces of pork roll. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Eleven past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Starting us off Thursday morning traffic. Ruben's ready.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 south near East Bercoons Industrial Loop. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm and humid today and tonight with variable clouds, high 86 and low 69. A shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
13 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Don't forget the KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. And given the limited state of the KEEL AM transmitter, it is more important than ever. Your mic's not. Oh, it's on now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that app is so cool. By the way, I saved an animal this morning.
I beg your pardon?
I just want you to know I was feeling really guilty about my turtle, not saving a turtle the other day.
Yeah.
So today, you know those June bugs that show up all around this time of year?
Yes, yes. Francis of Assisi,
Well,
go ahead.
there was one on his back, just struggling. You know how they struggle.
You could hear him yelling.
Yes, he was.
I know.
He's
You get two of them on their back.
"Hey!"
It's too loud.
He even said to me today, "Turtle killer, please flip me over."
So basically,
I flipped him over.
You're an insect
Usually I would crunch
whisperer.
him. Usually I would go squish and crunch him, but I flipped him over. I said, "Let him go."
I just assumed she took her dog out of the dryer for a change.
He hasn't been in the dryer in a long time.
Well, it's warm in there.
Oh, so I saved a June bug this morning.
Congratulations. You feel
Why are they here in May? I'm just curious. They're supposed to be June bugs. Why are they here late April, May now, all of a sudden? Is it global warming?
Absolutely. Everything is global warming.
So it's pushing everything up earlier?
The environment, we are destroying the environment around us, as is evidenced by the story from Hawaii. They're banning a whole lot of sunscreens in Hawaii.
That just makes me chuckle because it'll save the coral reefs. So
Hawaii-
we'll kill people.
Well, wait. What makes you think the sun kills people?
Well, if you get overexposed to the sun, you can get skin
Well, you know
cancer.
what? If you eat too, if you do too much of anything, it can be dangerous.
Well, sure, but in Hawaii, you have to have sunscreen
But look at it this
on.
way, though. Think of it's people have slathered on sunscreen for X number of years because of their concerns about skin cancer.
Sure.
With no thought about the fact that they are slathering chemicals on themselves that their bodies will absorb.
Right. Aren't there some healthy sunscreens that Hawaii will allow?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we what's the bad chemical that we got to stay away from?
Hold on. Oxybenzone.
Oxybenzone.
Yeah.
So you can't bring that to Hawaii anymore?
I don't know if it's going to be like heroin or meth. I have no idea.
I
don't know
heard
if-
that you could get a prescription and bring it with you or something like that. Yeah.
Research studies have found that chemicals found in some popular sunscreen products are harmful to ocean ecosystems. And now, state lawmakers have passed a bill in Hawaii. They will become the first state in the USA to ban the sale of some sunscreens that contain oxybenzone and
yeah, that.
June bug. Okay.
That's just nuts.
Anybody. Look,
The
yes.
one state where you need sunscreen is Hawaii.
They're not banning sunscreen. They're banning chemicals that probably will kill you anyway. Worse than the sun.
Oh, okay.
You slather chemicals on your body. Remember, coral.
We don't even slather anymore. We spray it
the
on because we're
coral
too
reef-
lazy to
the
slather it
coral
on.
reef aside, okay, sunscreen is, yes, they're probably safe. All I'm saying is, don't be surprised that there may be some effect to slathering chemicals on your body absorbs the things you put on it.
Yeah,
That's
true.
all.
That's just nuts.
So all anybody wanted to really talk about yesterday was the medical center, and it's intriguing to me the amount of blowback that we are getting from KEEL listeners who don't think Shreveport should get a fair share, to use Cedric's words. Basically, they are so anti-Cedric Glover.
They're so skeptical of him.
They are so anti-Cedric Glover that they think that anything that Cedric has his fingerprint on is
corrupt,
is by association bad.
Right.
Oh,
And that they tell us that we must investigate what's in it for him. What's he doing it for? There's an ulterior motive. There's got to be an ulterior motive because it's Cedric. Whew. See, I struggle a lot with that. I'm very critical of him for sitting on a lot of things, road money and all that during his 8 years. A lot of stuff just sat there, and when the current mayor got there, it was like, God, we had all this bond money for these projects, and we really haven't stepped up and done anything. And he spent a bulk of his time fighting a dog park that he knew there was no reason. I mean, there was no way he could win.
But is that corrupt?
He may be hard-headed.
Wait. Huh. Is that corrupt?
He believed in what he believed, and I'm not calling him corrupt.
No.
But our listeners really think he's corrupt. Deep to his core, they think he's corrupt. Some of our listeners, I should say. And that if he's doing anything, there's something in it for him.
It just blows me away that if Alan Seaball or one of those guys introduced the same legislation, everybody be all about it. But just because it's Cedric, screw that guy.
They're skeptical. They wonder what's up. What's in it? What's in it for Glover?
God forbid a guy try to save something that is important to our community.
We are sitting on, everybody in Shreveport and Bossier City, specifically Shreveport, all the time talks about we need industry, specifically white-collar industry, jobs that pay well. What is more white-collar than a medical school? What is more advantageous to a community? What is more high-end, high-dollar than a medical school that produces doctors? And yet the evidence, think what you want about Cedric, but the evidence to me is obvious that for years there are people in South Louisiana who do not want this medical school to succeed, that they are purposely limiting the funding for not only the medical school here, but our part of the state.
If you're listening and you're a Cedric Glover hater, and there are a lot of them, trust me, send me info, send me evidence of what's in it for him with regard to this. I would love to see it and check it out. I mean, we absolutely will go check it out. I'm not afraid to do that. But it sounds logical when New Orleans gets 156% reimbursement for each patient. Shreveport gets 79%. Something's wrong with that picture, and it's not what the Jeff Reynolds, the DHH undersecretary, said that New Orleans patients are sicker than Shreveport patients.
What did he say?
That's absurd.
What did he say?
That new patients that present at the New Orleans hospital are sicker and have more acute symptoms than patients in Shreveport.
Everybody knows those STDs. New Orleans chlamydia is far worse than Caddo Parish chlamydia.
I would like someone to try to explain his point to me. I don't get it.
People in New Orleans need that extra Tylenol and that extra shot.
Oh, we spend more on them.
We will discuss this in a little more detail when we get back, and if you haven't heard the sound bites, I think we'll replay some of those.
We got them.
Because they're pretty awesome. 19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's traffic. Here's Ruben.
Everything's looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty-two past 6 o'clock, Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Walk-Ons Independence Bowl keeps its same game, date, and time as last year. ESPN announced their bowl lineup Tuesday with a local postseason game remaining, a December 27th tilt with a kickoff time of 12:30 p.m., the same as last December's game. The Shreveport Mudbugs board the team bus bound for the Metroplex this morning, up 2-0 in their best-of-5 division final series with Lone Star. The Bugs can clinch a spot in the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota next week with a win Friday or Saturday. If the Brahmas win both games, Game 5 would be played on George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum Sunday night. Utah squandered a 19-point first-half lead in Houston and then rallied in the final 8 minutes of the game to beat the Rockets 116-108 to even their series at 1 win apiece by outscoring Houston 16-2 down the stretch to steal home court advantage. Joe Ingles led the Jazz with 27 points. James Harden led Houston with 32, but he was just 2 of 10 from three-point land. Luis Severino threw a shutout in his first complete game shutout, and Giancarlo Stanton clobbered a pair of homers to give the Yankees a 4-0 win in Houston. And Edwin Encarnacion hit a 3-run homer, a 2-run homer, and a solo homer to power Cleveland's 12-4 win over Texas. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
$25 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Which one do you want to play first?
I'm not sure.
Why don't you just start smoking a cigar?
I can do that.
You've got that little coffee stirrer in your mouth. You forget, it's for years and years and years. You chew on a coffee stirrer when we're off the radio.
Right.
Just a long time habit of yours. That's good. That's a good look.
Is it?
Yeah. And if you're watching on the video, if you're watching on Facebook, or you don't have to chew on it.
Well, I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah. Well, go get cheese crackers.
I can't do that. I didn't have my.
But I mean, it's like when the bumper music comes on.
You take it out.
Like nobody can see.
Right.
I got news for you. This was it. Just start smoking a small cigar. Be like Columbo.
Smoking's not allowed indoors anymore.
Only not as nicely dressed. Yeah. Who do you want to start with?
Well, Bacala kind of gives you the rundown of the money.
Okay, this is Tony Bacala. He's a state representative, a Republican from Pineville, which is Alexandria area, which is, and this is very important to remember, north of I-10.
Right.
And you had made the point, as have many. Cedric's used the number. We get 32 cents on the dollar for the New Orleans Safety Net Hospital.
Right.
That Shreveport gets just about, less than 1/3 of the money that the New Orleans hospital gets.
Right.
The number that Bacala talks about is, what is it, like 156 compared to...
He's going to tell you that.
Okay,
yeah.
This is Tony Bacala, state representative from Pineville.
On the House Appropriations Committee during the discussion.
According to documents from LDH, they're showing that they're being reimbursed 156.3% of the actual costs incurred, whereas if you look at University Health in Shreveport, they're getting reimbursed 79.6% of actual costs incurred.
156 to New Orleans. 79%.
See, Tony Bacala's got no skin in this game.
No.
I mean, he's Pineville.
I don't think there's even a safety net hospital there. Is there? I may be wrong, but I think he's just
maybe
spouting
Tony
numbers.
Bacala from Pineville, i.e., maybe Tony Bacala from north of I-10 gets it. Maybe he realizes that every little bit, every little thing you do to chip away at the power base, at the money, at the people who have their hands on the purse strings south of I-10, helps him a little bit. Now, the next guy we have is...
This duty head comes to the table.
Is Jeff Reynolds.
Yeah, he's the DHH undersecretary, and he tried to explain to the committee why New Orleans gets more money than University Health.
In New Orleans, they have the sickest clients. I've got some charts here that I'd be glad to share with the committee that show that for every client, New Orleans spends about $1.60 in Shreveport spends about $1.20. So there is some built-in cost differences.
Okay, they spend $1.60 for every client. We spend $1.20.
So basically,
they get $1.50. We get 79 cents.
Do you think it might have something to do? Do you think that New Orleans, that healthcare in New Orleans might cost a little bit more?
Of course.
Not to impugn the morality of people, of politicians in New Orleans, but do you think it just might have something to do that the layers of bureaucracy, if you will, and I'm putting that as kindly as I can,
sure,
that the layers of bureaucracy might be just a little, there might be more of it, that the filtering of the money, that there's more places money goes, that the medical care, that the hospital system, that the government in New Orleans may not be the most efficient to be found. Where did all that levy money go?
Yeah,
my point exactly.
Oh boy.
Now, the last guy we have is Mark Abraham, and he's a Republican representative. Republican. The interesting thing is this has nothing to do with party breakdown.
It had nothing to do with race. It was very odd.
No, it has to do with geography.
Yes.
It literally has to do with geography. And the legislators south of Louisiana, as you will hear Representative Abraham say, is screw y'all. This is basically what he says. If you're north of I-10, if you're not in New Orleans, or he's from Lake Charles, I'm not giving up mine to give you so you can give to yours.
So that finite UPL pool, okay, could be detrimental to the other hospitals, not Shreveport in New Orleans. That's my issue that I have with this.
That is a possibility, yes, sir.
For that reason, I mean, I can't support it because of that reason. I can't jeopardize losing dollars at the other safety net hospitals.
Can you blame him?
Oh, no, I can't blame him.
Can you blame him?
But we've got to pass something to level the playing field.
Well, maybe.
You got to start moving in the right direction. You're putting one of two medical schools in our state, which they have got to see how valuable this is to the entire state.
What have politicians in this part of the state said for years about that? They don't care. South of I-10, they don't care. That's where the money is. That's where the bigger population is. That's where the control is. That's where the people who have, to repeat myself, their hands on the purse strings, they don't care.
But we need to stand up and fight for this medical school.
What did Mark Abraham just say? Basically, he said, I don't care. I'm not taking away from my folks to give to yours.
That's so narrow-minded.
And whoever, no, it's not.
It's narrow-minded. It's what is in the best interest of the entire state.
It is to you. His constituents care about what they get.
I know.
They don't care about what you get. And whoever runs against Mark Abraham in the next election is not going to run on a platform of Mark Abraham is not fair to Shreveport.
Are you putting kidney beans in my pot, or are you putting bacon?
They will not run. I'm going to repeat myself. Whoever runs against Mark Abraham next election is not going to run on the platform Mark Abraham is unfair to Shreveport. They would run on he took away from you and gave to them.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update just ahead of local news. Ruben's here on KEEL.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Paddock was shooting into a crowd, killing 58 people and wounding hundreds more. LSU coach Ed Orgeron in Houston for the football caravan stop, and Tiger fans in the Longhorn State are asking about the quarterback situation. Now, Coach O says he's very confident the offense will succeed under new coordinator Steve Ensminger. He says the longtime assistant's been working hard.
I had to tell them to tell the staff to go home. I think they pretended that they went home, went around the block, and they came back, and they worked through midnight. And he's a relentless worker. He promised he was going to do it, and he's done it. We still have a lot of offense to put in. It's all depending on what quarterback we have.
And those in the running to be quarterback, Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I think she locked herself out.
Just after news. I'll be back.
I'm just leaving now. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 638. I don't know, and we'll talk about this in the next segment. I don't know a lot about the education system in the sense that when tests come back and they suck, I don't know if, and in many municipalities, in many metropolitan areas around the country, and that's what we're going to talk about, that I don't know. Let me use the Eden Gardens test score here in Caddo Parish as an example.
Okay.
What was it, like the school was about a 55 or 58 or something like that, which is a terrible, you look at it and you go, my God, it's an awful test score.
Right.
But given these sociological implications, when you look at the kids in that school and many of their backgrounds and home lives and single parents and unemployment and poverty and disadvantage, etc. And I've said before, you can look at the results and say, man, that school's horrible. But maybe, and I've said this too, maybe the fact that those teachers got a 58 out of those kids is the greatest job of teaching you'll ever see. Maybe it's maybe they're a 35 school, and those teachers teach their ass off and got them up to a 58. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Maybe the fact that those kids got a 58 is miraculous, given their starting point.
Right.
That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. We're going to play a little high-low game.
Okay.
The National Standard for Education, specifically 8th grade proficiency.
Oh, we played this yesterday off the air.
And you were horrible.
It was shocking.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, traffic time. Yo, Ruben, what you got, kid?
Everything's looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
So it's not Eden Gardens, it's one of the ones.
Oh, Eden Gardens is a magnet school, and it's a very good school.
One of the ones I'm thinking, somebody got a 58.
Yeah, not Eden Gardens.
Okay.
Eden Gardens is scoring in the 90s. FYI.
Okay. We talked about it. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. We talked about this yesterday. I did a little high-low off the air. And this has to do with National Association of Education tests that tested the proficiency of 8th graders at an 8th grade level in math.
Mm-hmm. Pull your seatbelt a little tighter because you're going to be shocked by this.
And it included the major metropolitan areas around the country.
Mm-hmm. Now, New Orleans is not considered a major metro anymore,
Lost
right?
too many people after the hurricane.
Okay.
Places like Dallas.
So that's the closest we're going to go.
Boston, Denver, Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, Fort Worth, Milwaukee, Cleveland, etc. The list goes on.
8th grade proficiency in math.
In other words, how many 8th graders, according to the National Association of Education, are up to par? How many 8th graders are performing at an 8th grade level in mathematics?
I'd say in Dallas it's about...
Let's not go there yet.
Okay.
Okay. The number one metropolitan area when it comes to 8th graders performing at an 8th grade level in math.
So the highest performing metro area
is Charlotte, North Carolina.
Go Charlotte.
Now, what do you think?
In the 90s?
What percentage would you say of their 8th graders are proficient at it? Are performing at what is considered to be an 8th grade level in mathematics?
If it's the number one metro area, I'd say 85%.
Cut that in half.
Come on, Robert.
41.
They're the best, and 41% of 8th grade. Wow.
41%. We were just talking off the air about this in Texas versus Louisiana. And Matt's saying, well, Texas, and you mentioned Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas is number 2. 36% of Austin, Texas 8th graders are doing math at an 8th grade level.
And they get an attaboy.
Number 3, San Diego, California.
Okay.
36. One out of 3. Basically, 1 out of 3 8th graders
are proficient in math.
Nobody in this list, there's nobody close to 50%.
That is
Charlotte,
sad.
North Carolina is on top, 41%.
Okay.
New York City is 28. Here we go. Boston is 33. I don't have time to read them all. Let me start at the bottom. Detroit, Michigan, 5%.
God.
Fresno, California, 11%. Baltimore, 11%. Cleveland, 11%.
Where's Dallas?
Milwaukee, 12%. Shelby County. Is Shelby County? I think that's Birmingham. I'm not sure. 12%. Philadelphia, 16%. Fort Worth, 19%. Atlanta, 19%. Dallas, 20%. 1 out of 5 8th graders in Dallas. 1 out of 5 8th graders are performing mathematically at an 8th grade level.
Who's to blame? Who's at fault here? Because I'm concerned that teachers will get the blame.
Or is it a perfect storm of disaster?
Of family problems,
that the
whatever.
Sociological problems of the sociological problems, we don't need to go into those. We know what those are. That the sociological problems of our country are so deep and so vast and so difficult to overcome that these kids go, what did Cade Brumley tell us? And I'm not going to mention the school this time because it is in DeSoto Parish, and I know this time I got it right if I mentioned it. Okay?
He said kids would come to school and 5-year-olds and didn't know their colors.
They don't know. It's beyond that.
Oh, I know.
They don't know their colors. They can't count to 10. They don't have basic reasoning skills.
At age 5 and 6.
Cade told us that he had kids coming into preschool in DeSoto Parish who didn't know their names. So, you tell me.
These are the people that are going to be in charge, Robert, when we're in our golden years.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
They're supposed to be.
No, they're not.
You can't leave it up to the 19%. They're going to be the ones running business. These kids are the ones that are going to get government jobs. Think about it.
Bend over and kiss it goodbye.
Oh, man.
Hey, it could be an improvement.
648, 1017. The future of the DMV
Oh, boy.
is right here.
Oh, can't wait.
648, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic and weather coming up next right here on KEEL.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm and humid today and tonight with variable clouds, high 86 and low 69. A shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
It is 652, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. No, not traffic update. Sports time. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Walk-Ons Independence Bowl keeps its same game, date, and time as last year. ESPN announced their bowl lineup Tuesday with a local postseason game remaining, a December 27th tilt with a kickoff time of 12:30 p.m., the same as last December's game. The Shreveport Mudbugs board the team bus bound for the Metroplex this morning, up 2-0 in their best-of-5 division final series with Lone Star. The Bugs can clinch a spot in the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota next week with a win Friday or Saturday. If the Brahmas win both games, Game 5 would be played on George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum Sunday night. Utah squandered a 19-point first-half lead in Houston and then rallied in the final 8 minutes of the game to beat the Rockets 116-108 to even their series at one win apiece by outscoring Houston 16-2 down the stretch to steal home court advantage. Joe Ingles led the Jazz with 27 points. James Harden led Houston with 32, but he was just 2 of 10 from three-point land. Luis Severino threw a shutout in his first complete game shutout, and Giancarlo Stanton clobbered a pair of homers to give the Yankees a 4-0 win in Houston. And Edwin Encarnacion hit a 3-run homer, a 2-run homer, and a solo homer to power Cleveland's 12-4 win over Texas. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
655, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm just wondering if you want to. If I'm thinking whether or not I want to read some of the Cedric Glover comments about just some of the Cedric Glover comments.
That's so bad. People are just.
Let me ask you something.
Unjustly unfair to that poor man.
If
now, come on, he wasn't the greatest mayor. We all know that.
Maybe he wasn't the greatest, but that doesn't mean he's a corrupt piece of crap like he's being accused of.
Well, there were a lot of things that he could have gotten done during his 8 years that never got done, and there's a lot of problems with that. But is he a thief? Is he crooked and all that? Show me some evidence, somebody. If you want to call him a crook, show me something.
That would require someone actually, putting in effort and making logical thought, which seems to be difficult for some.
Listen to you two.
Man.
Listen to you two. Let me ask you something. At this point, does it matter? And I'm being totally serious.
On this subject regarding our med school, no, it doesn't matter.
If this is the guy who can introduce the bill and work the room and get it passed, that will bring another $2 or $3 or $4 million or more from the state to university health and the med school, does anything else that happened up until yesterday, does it matter? That's what I'm asking.
No.
Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Your thoughts, concerns, ideas, and that'll be plenty. I was going to say criticisms, but I'll stop. 656, here's Rush on Keel.
There is a new survey by the Pew Research Center. It says most Americans still believe in God, but not as many millennials do. Only 43% of millennials say they believe in the God of the Bible. Only 17% of them regularly attend church. Almost two-thirds of Americans over 50 believe in the biblical God. 52% of them attend church services regularly. Now, in addition to this age divide, when it comes to belief in God, there's also a political and racial divide. White Republicans and non-white Democrats are far more likely to believe in God than the white liberal Democrats who run the Democrat Party. I should say who are running the Democrat Party into the ground. The bottom line is that an overwhelming number of young adults in America have been raised to be godless, and white liberal Democrats, for the most part, are still godless. Now, if you've tried to figure out the root cause of hopelessness and despair and anger and intolerance coming from millennials and top Democrats, you might have just found the answer. Absence of God in their lives. Don't doubt me. Say, folks, if you own land, I'm sure you would love to have the time to work it, develop it, spend time with it. If so, go see my good friends at Mahindra. Because for a limited time, you can get one of Mahindra's best-selling tractors, the 2555 Shuttle with Loader, and get up to $9,000 off MSRP. With 55 horsepower, it's great for all of you hobby farmers. Plus, the 2555 includes an industry-leading 7-year limited powertrain warranty. Mahindra also offers a full lineup of tractors from 20 horsepower all the way up to 125 horsepower. For offer details or to learn more about the world's #1 selling tractor, visit MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
The intersection of Greenwood Road and Hearn Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near McDade Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm and humid today and tonight with variable clouds, high 86 and low 69. A shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin, local news, getting ready.
People all across the U.S. coming together for prayer today. We'll tell you more about that. Medical marijuana in Louisiana, it's moving a step forward. And parity for our safety net hospitals. The fight is on.
Who's the one man in America? We kind of touched on this yesterday. Who's the one man in America that today, what's the day, the 3rd? May 3rd, 2018, who's the one man in America who must be destroyed? No, it's not a former mayor. I will let you know. Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's here on Keel.
The power of information. Keel News now.
The DeSoto School Board set to officially name their new superintendent today. Last month, the board narrowed the list of finalists for the job to 3. Kathy Noel, the interim superintendent, Eddie Jones, and Clay Corley are left in the running to replace Dr. Cade Brumley, who's now superintendent in Jefferson Parish. A concealed carry on campus bill has passed the House. The bill allows school visitors with a concealed carry permit to bring a gun to campus, but does not allow school officials or students with a permit to carry. West Wego Representative Robert Bio says the legislation only further stresses teachers who would then be saddled with the responsibility of asking armed individuals for their concealed carry permit.
We're going to put on the local principals and the local school teachers to look for a concealed weapon, because everybody who's going to come on campus who has a concealed weapon is going to have to be checked.
The bill now heads to the Senate. A federal judge postpones the arraignment for Caddo Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Arraignment delayed because Cawthorn is trying to get former U.S. Attorney Randy Keene as his legal counsel. Cawthorn and his sister are accused of taking more than $500,000 from a federal program to feed underprivileged kids. Some high school seniors in Caddo Parish may not be able to graduate on time this year due to end-of-year standardized testing. Seniors are not allowed to walk the stage without passing the state exit test. So if they didn't make the grade the first time, the results of the retest may not be back in time before many schools hold their graduations. Big day of prayer around the country. Matt Parker with that.
People all across the United States will come together in prayer today for National Prayer Day. The day, created under the Truman administration in 1952, is a day when people can come together in celebration of their God. Locally, several events will be held, including a prayer service at the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Substation on Viking Drive at noon. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
More than 35,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Kroger stores nationwide recalled due to plastic being in the meat. You can find the full details of this recall at KEELnews.com. Shreveport Representative Cedric Glover wins support in the House Appropriations Committee for his bill to bring parity to funding for the state's safety net hospitals. Glover telling Keel News, North Louisiana getting the short end of the stick. It's one of the reasons he wanted to go back to Baton Rouge.
Probably one of the primary reasons why I chose to come back and try and become part of the legislature again, because these are realities that have been a part of the history of the state of Louisiana for decades, and I'm just one of those folks who's committed now to trying to bring some clarity, some transparency, and hopefully some balance as to how these things have worked for decades.
Numbers show the New Orleans hospital gets 156% reimbursement, while Shreveport gets 79%. Glover says we must address the disparity. Two bills that would expand access to medical marijuana close to being put into law after moving through the House and now being passed in a Senate committee. One would allow some children with autism, if prescribed, access to the treatment. The bill's sponsor, Representative Rodney Lyons, says current autism medications have devastating side effects that he says are not a problem with medical marijuana.
We're definitely not trying to stay in the abyss of drugs that cause more side effects and more problems than we adhere to this day.
The other bill would add other new conditions to the 10 already in place, including PTSD, to the list of those who can be prescribed the oil or pill-based treatment. As Yemen starves, mothers are often the only defense against the hunger that has killed thousands during the country's civil war. They're now saying they're skipping meals and they sleep to escape the gnawing in their stomachs. They're hiding bony faces and emaciated bodies in voluminous black abaya robes and veils. Police around the country have responded to hundreds of paintball fights in recent weeks. Authorities say the trend began around the time an Atlanta rapper began posting YouTube videos encouraging people to trade real guns for paintball weapons. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 7 o'clock, 101.7. 10 past 7 o'clock. KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Matt's a little edgy this morning. We're going to get into that in just a couple of seconds. 12 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. You're working very feverishly on something down there.
We're hoping that we're going to get the announcement of the Caddo Parish Animal Services Director today.
Right.
The commission meets this afternoon, and I'm told that Dr. Wilson is going to recommend his choice to the commission.
You know what's got you a little off kilter about this is that this is a name that's that some people know and you haven't been able to find out.
Well, I'm working on it.
You've been trying. What's got you a little PO'd is I'm Erin McCarty.
Mm-hmm.
My tentacles are everywhere. And
if you know who it is, text me the name if you know my number, or email it.
You have asked everybody who
They're keeping this pretty hush-hush.
They are doing a good job.
They really are keeping it hush-hush.
That's what's got you a little
Part
irritated.
of the problem is this person had to give 2 weeks' notice at their current job, so they don't want that to get leaked out or whatever, but I think the notice has already been given. And then I had requested an interview with the new director, but I was told by the parish folks that the person has to be approved by the commission first. So I think maybe the recommendation may come during today's commission meeting, and then at the next meeting they may vote for approval. But one of the Caddo commissioners, if you're listening, text me and let me know if I'm on the right track, because I think I am.
Way to work it behind the scenes.
They'll help me out. They'll help me out. Somebody knows who it is.
There's a lot of people who know. And what is
No, there's not a lot. Don't say that because I'll get really angry.
What's really bothering you is
then my leaks aren't working.
That they haven't told you who it is.
Yeah, I need my leaks to start working.
Now, what's got Matt a little irritated is
there's air.
He thinks hockey and all sports are turning to, they're just going full girl. And he's on this thing yesterday, the feminization of America. University of Texas has this it's a study now about toxic masculinity as a mental illness, where if you're basically a guy, if you are a guy, you are toxic, that you are responsible for slavery and for rape and for homophobia and for that you are responsible for all the world's ills.
Yeah.
You are responsible for nuclear weapons and war, and you must, and obviously you're insane.
Destroyed.
You are insane, and we got to get rid of you.
And I know some people will say Robert likes to, he puts on his tinfoil hat and gets a little crazy.
Agree with me here.
But this time, you're right on the money. These folks are getting a little nuts, especially when all they preach is tolerance, and you have to accept people for who they are, unless you're a competitive red-blooded male who likes to play sports, drink beer, and eat red meat. They're trying to eliminate those people.
You know what's got him freaked out about this whole thing? For the first time in his life, he's the old guy.
Yeah.
For the first
He's on the porch. Get off my lawn.
There's an old story about Frank Sinatra being married to Mia Farrow. Remember, he was married to Mia Farrow?
Sure.
And Frank Sinatra was like 50-something, and Mia Farrow was 20. And they were married, and all of Mia Farrow's friends would come over, and they were like 20, 21, 22.
Sure.
And it was the first time in his life that Frank Sinatra hadn't been the coolest guy in the room.
Exactly.
And it freaked him out. This is the first time in his life that Matt Parker, he always looks at me and he says, you're not evolving. You're not changing with the times. You're just an old guy. Well, kid, welcome to my world. That suddenly, for the first time, there's all these 20-somethings who are telling you, Mr. 30-year-old old soul, dude, get off my lawn.
Yeah.
You're just an old, crabby guy. You got to change with the times.
You have a mental disorder.
You are insane because you like women and red meat.
Yeah. I just, if you're going to practice what you preach, if you're going to say, hey, we're about acceptance, how about you accept me for being a man and liking what I like, and I will accept you for being...
on the radical left ever been tolerant about anything?
Well, any radicals on
sensitive,
either
Matt.
side are crazy, but,
Now, let's take this a step further. And he is all upset.
He's
about
Darth
this.
Vadering over there.
There's this hockey play, and what's the guy's name who got
Tom
suspended?
Wilson.
Okay, and he's over there just moaning about how sports is not sports anymore. And I said, you have to understand, the zeitgeist of professional sports now is that any unnecessary contact will be met with suspensions. And almost any head-to-head contact is going to be met with a suspension, because they're going to regard that, even if it's unintentional, is going to be met with a suspension because they regard that as unnecessary.
Right.
And I told you that to tell you this. And I heard this on the news the other night. NFL rules officials are keeping the kickoff until at least 2020. Now, what does that tell you?
That they're planning on killing it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm done with the NFL. I don't watch football anymore. I don't watch baseball, and hockey's starting to make me angry now too.
The National Football League is finalized.
It's dangerous, though, guys.
Well,
People get hurt.
You're getting $20 million to get hit. Don't complain.
It actually, wait, the facts, and my buddy Tommy and I argue about this all the time. The facts speak for themselves. It is a dangerous game.
You bet.
And people do suffer life-affecting brain injuries. And to say, well, he's getting paid $20 million a year, does that mean that they should just take their helmets off and bang into each other at 20 miles an hour? So here's the point. The National Football League is finalizing a proposal to make significant changes to the kickoff, intensifying the tweaks in recent years in what may be the final attempt to salvage what is statistically football's most dangerous play.
It is a dangerous play.
Now, who would be in favor? And they're going to make it into something like a punt rather than a kickoff. No wedge blocking and all this kind. No two.
But the new part of the rule is, you haven't heard this part yet, have you? The punter is going to come out wearing a dress.
Now, make fun if you will, but the statistics speak for themselves. So here's the point. Who would be most in favor of keeping the kickoff or a play similar to the kickoff as we have it now?
The kickers.
No, the kick returners.
No. You're close. You're closing in. Expand that a little bit. Special teams and special teams coaches.
Oh, yeah. They need their jobs.
If you eliminate the kickoff, you're eliminating a lot of jobs. If you eliminate special teams plays, you are eliminating jobs and coaches. Well, and in fact, the proposal to turn the kickoff after a touchdown into more of a punt-type play, the proposal did come from a group of special teams coaches. Why? Because they don't want to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Not to mention, since there's no farm system in the NFL, special teams are how a lot of guys work their way up. They play really hard and really well in special team situations, and then work their way up to a starting position. So you're cutting money for a lot of guys.
And if the league has their way, those guys, those coaches, may soon be gone.
Well, at least there's the XFL.
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben, and he's on KEEL.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm and humid today and tonight with variable clouds, high 86 and low 69. A shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-two past 7 o'clock, KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Walk-Ons Independence Bowl keeps its same game, date, and time as last year. ESPN announced their bowl lineup Tuesday with a local postseason game remaining, a December 27th tilt with a kickoff time of 12:30 p.m., the same as last December's game. The Shreveport Mudbugs board the team bus bound for the Metroplex this morning, up 2-0 in their best-of-5 division final series with Lone Star. The Bugs can clinch a spot in the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota next week with a win Friday or Saturday. If the Brahmas win both games, Game 5 would be played on George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum Sunday night. Utah squandered a 19-point first-half lead in Houston and then rallied in the final 8 minutes of the game to beat the Rockets 116-108 to even their series at 1 win apiece by outscoring Houston 16-2 down the stretch to steal home court advantage. Joe Ingles led the Jazz with 27 points. James Harden led Houston with 32, but he was just 2 of 10 from three-point land. Luis Severino threw a shutout in his first complete game shutout, and Giancarlo Stanton clobbered a pair of homers to give the Yankees a 4-0 win in Houston. And Edwin Encarnacion hit a 3-run homer, a 2-run homer, and a solo homer to power Cleveland's 12-4 win over Texas. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
On the KEEL Facebook page, the National Football League is considering eliminating or radically changing the kickoff, statistically football's most dangerous play. Matt says the players are making lots of money and know what they signed up for. So what do you think? If the kickoff is eliminated, would football still be football? Fair enough. Let's see what people have to say.
Yeah.
Also on the Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. I had sent you a little blurb, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. I sent you a little link a couple of days ago, and it had to do with, what's the guy on The Simpsons the Apu character?
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria. And did you read the whole thing?
I looked at that. Yes, I did.
And what did it say? Do you recall?
I don't know.
It basically said that Hank Azaria, who does the Apu character, tell everyone who that character is.
Well, he is a convenience store owner of Indian descent.
Would it be fair to say it is a somewhat stereotypical character?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's evolved a lot since its original debut.
But basically, it's a white guy doing an Indian stereotype voice.
Thank you. Come again.
That's basically it, although... so here's the deal. Hank Azaria says he has evolved. Correct me if I'm wrong about this. Hank Azaria, long time, does a lot of voices on The Simpsons.
Oh, absolutely.
Says he has evolved, and he now sees that as did he use the word racist? I don't recall.
Remember.
But he said it's insensitive and thoughtless and demeaning, and he's not going to do that character anymore.
And you know what bothers me about that, as a longtime fan of The Simpsons? Apu isn't just a convenience store owner. He's been involved in some great storylines where he is always the hero. It's not like, they're painting him as a terrorist or anything like that. He's a good-hearted guy who happened to own a convenience store and be Indian.
So here's my question. Do you think Hank Azaria is suddenly enlightened? I mean, if what do you think was the process of Hank Azaria's evolution, his enlightenment, that one day he woke up and said, after 20 years of doing this character, this is thoughtless, this is demeaning, this is insulting, this is racist?
I don't understand.
I do. It's the social media backlash effect where you get to, with everybody having Twitter on their phones and constantly getting notifications and this and that. What if you want peace and quiet, what's the one thing you got to do? If someone's beating you up, is you're Apu on The Simpsons.
Follow the politically correct road.
You know what? You're right. I'm just going to say that I'm never doing this again, so you people leave me alone.
So I want to we'll do a vote around the room. You ready? Up or down, yay or nay, yes or no. If Hank Azaria, who has announced to the world he is no longer going to do the racist Apu character on The Simpsons, if Hank Azaria is really sincere in his social enlightenment,
yeah, of course he is.
Should he give all the money back?
No.
Bet he doesn't.
Bet he doesn't.
Should he stop taking residuals? Hank Azaria is probably making $3, $4, $5
million.
because
that's not the only character he does.
He's probably making $5 million a year from doing The Simpsons. And that's one of the voices. He hasn't, in his own mind, not only is he a racist now if he continues, but looking back on the Hank Azaria 2 decades of The Simpsons, he's been a racist for 20 years. If he feels that bad about it, shouldn't he make, dare I use the reparations word? Shouldn't Hank give the money back? If he really feels this is as bad as he says, shouldn't he try to make some kind of amends?
No.
And pay? Should he stop taking the residual money? I'm not taking if he makes $5 million a year and he does 10 voices, shouldn't he just give $1 or $2 million of it back, or to a charity, or to some left-wing politically correct organization to make good for all the harm?
No, stopping doing the voice is enough.
All the harm and damage and pain he has caused to Indian Americans across this country. Hank, you're just a hypocrite, kid.
By the way, did you see Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, response to this sort of backlash?
He was a little bit critical.
He said, I'm proud of what we do on the show, and I think it's time in our culture where people love to pretend that they're offended. So basically saying people love the character, and all of a sudden, just because of where we are, people are just loving to pretend that they're offended by this, despite the fact Apu in every situation has always been portrayed as a good guy.
I think the syndicator should stop paying Hank Azaria and see if he sues to make his racist dirty money. 29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's ready. Traffic time on KEEL.
Starting to see some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
information. KEEL News now.
This is the National Prayer Day. The day was created under the Truman administration back in 1952. It's a day when people can come together in celebration of their God. Locally, several events will be held, including a prayer service at the Bossier Sheriff Substation on Viking Drive. That's set for noon. Two bills that would expand access to medical marijuana are close to being put into law after moving through the full House and now being passed by a Senate committee. One would allow some children with autism, if prescribed, access to the treatment. The bill's sponsor, Harvey Representative Rodney Lyons, says he was moved by an appeal from his constituents.
They're not looking for a miracle, and this will want to be the last places I would come for a miracle. But they're coming here to get help. They're coming here because they have a need, and they're advocating for us to help them.
The other bill would add other new conditions to the 10 already in place, including PTSD, to the list of those who can be prescribed. A federal judge postpones arraignment for Caddo Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Arraignment delayed because Cawthorn is trying to get former U.S. Attorney Randy Keene as his legal counsel. Cawthorn and his sister are accused of taking more than $500,000 from a federal program to feed underprivileged kids during the summer. Testing might delay some students' graduation. Matt Parker with that.
Some high school seniors in Caddo Parish may not be able to graduate on time this year due to end-of-year standardized testing. Seniors are not allowed to graduate without passing the state exit exam. So if they didn't make the grade the first time, the results of the retest may not be back before many schools hold their graduation ceremonies. Some schools may allow students to walk with their classmates without receiving the results. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The DeSoto School Board set to officially name their new superintendent of schools today. Last month, the board narrowed the list to 3, Kathy Noel, Eddie Jones, and Clay Corley. They're in the running to replace Dr. Cade Brumley, who's now superintendent in Jefferson Parish. Louisiana schools would no longer be gun-free zones under a measure that won approval in the House. After a heated debate, lawmakers voted 59 to 36 for a bill that would allow visitors with concealed carry permits to carry guns on school campuses. The bill to bring parity to funding for our state's safety net hospitals passes in committee. State Representative Cedric Glover telling KEEL News he will continue pushing for change.
Let's be committed to doing what's necessary in order to try and balance this out, bring to this process the transparency that it deserves, and then figure out if we have the gumption to try and figure out how we balance this out so that Shreveport and Monroe can get its fair share to do the job that it has to do the same way the rest of the state.
Numbers show the New Orleans hospital gets 156% reimbursement, while Shreveport gets 79%. Glover says we must address the disparity. More than 35,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Kroger stores nationwide recalled due to plastic being in the meat. Any meat bearing the establishment number 34176 inside the USDA mark of inspection is being recalled. You can get more details on this at KeelNews.com. As Stephen Paddock was unleashing a hail of gunfire in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, people inside a Las Vegas hotel continued to gamble. Police body camera footage made public now shows officers passing people still playing slot machines inside the Mandalay Bay on October 1st, while in a tower above, Paddock was shooting into a crowd, killing 58 people and wounding hundreds more. LSU coach Ed Orgeron in Houston for the football caravan stop, and Tiger fans in the Longhorn State are asking about the quarterback situation. Now, Coach O says he's very confident the offense will succeed under new coordinator Steve Ensminger. He says the longtime assistant's been working hard.
I had to tell them to tell the staff to go home. I think they pretended that they went home, went around the block, and they came back, and they worked through midnight. And he's a relentless worker. He promised he was going to do it. He's done it. We still have a lot of offense to put in. It's all depending on what quarterback we have.
And those in the running to be quarterback, Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Find it. We'll talk about it. Do you have it in front of you?
I do.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. A lot of social media buzz, and I saw somebody say, oh, no, sorry, I was wrong. I got the city wrong. But there is this rumor going around that Elton John will be at CenturyLink Center next, what is it, February?
February 12th, 2019, Tuesday night, CenturyLink Center, Bossier City.
No way.
It's his farewell tour. He's been here how many times now?
Well, depends on how many times. If you
Well, he didn't
One
play-
time he didn't show.
Do cancellations count?
Okay, so, 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
So 1 out of 2.
But, rumor is that he's going to include or be a part.
What do you have in front of you that would give some credence to this?
Well, it's one of those websites that sells tickets, where, they get information from whatever venue and they post it. One of those ticket resale sites. This one's Eventful, and they have it.
So it's a legit website.
Yeah, it's one of those places that legit sells tickets and is a secondary thing. Announcement is supposed to be tomorrow for his tour. Maybe they got the information.
For what date?
February. Hold on. February 12th.
That's CenturyLink Center, Omaha, Nebraska.
I'm just telling you.
I'm looking at this another event site.
They have
it says
it,
February 12th, CenturyLink Center, Omaha, Nebraska.
They haven't officially announced, but announced the tour as of yet.
So one site says Bossier City.
It does.
One site says
CenturyLink Center, Omaha, Nebraska, February 12th.
Why don't you look? I know. Let's do this. I know that there is a CenturyLink Center in Bossier City. I know because the lights don't work. Ha!
Hey.
Have you seen the sign on lately? No.
No.
So here's my point. Google CenturyLink Center, Omaha, Nebraska, and see if it exists.
Of course it exists.
How do you know?
It does.
Google it and see. See who else is going to be there soon.
All right. I'm not good at the Google.
I mean, I've seen the same thing. I mean, the point I'm making is let's get as much info as we can.
Right. CenturyLink Omaha Convention Center and Arena. Calendar. Let's look
So
at that calendar.
it's a building that actually exists.
Yes, it does. Let's
I mean,
look
it's
at
like
February of 20.
It's like Madison Round Garden in Gina. I mean, okay.
Elton John Farewell Yellow Brick Road Tour is on the CenturyLink Omaha site for Tuesday, February 12th.
I don't know. I just know there is an announcement coming of some sort, and that,
And we may not be on the list.
We may, maybe not. We'll see.
Need to tell the cigar story. 739, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel.
Senator John Milkovich joins us next. We're going to talk about his anti-abortion bill.
Right now, traffic update. Ruben's here.
Starting to see some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
You know, you're not allowed to ever mention that name.
I know. I'm sorry.
She said Brett Butler.
It makes his blood boil.
I was the worst. I've been in radio 45 years. It was the worst day of my life.
Oh, boy.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. State Senator John Milkovich is here. Hey, Mr. John, how you been? Thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, Robert J. and Erin, how are y'all?
Good. Senate Bill 181, banning abortion in Louisiana after 15 weeks of pregnancy. It looks like it's moving forward and now just headed to the House,
Made
correct?
it through committee. What's the next move? What's going to happen?
It passed the Senate.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it goes to the full House on the floor at this point, and you know, we just really hope that it gets passage. And actually, we ask people out there to be praying.
How long till somebody sues?
Well, they may try to enjoin it quickly, and I believe that, and it costs money to litigate, but I believe that our babies are worth more than our babies are more valuable than our money. Number one. Number two, the fraction of the state budget that we spend every year defending unborn babies is less than 1/10 of 1% of the state budget. State budget's over $28 billion. We're spending much less than 1% to defend babies. I can't think of a more worthwhile
So you
expenditure.
are anticipating a lawsuit as a result of this if it makes it through the legislature.
Listen, the abortion cartel is going to sue and to challenge in federal court everything we do to protect the lives of the unborn. But this is the reality. This is the bottom line. This is what people got to get. The abortion cartel could care less about, quote, a woman's reproductive rights, unquote. For them, it's all about the cash. They don't care about our babies. They care about their money. The abortion cartel is making is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And what people don't realize is that the abortion clinic in Baton Rouge is owned by a guy that was the former boss or employer of Kermit Gosnell. That's the guy in Philadelphia that babies were being born live, and he was murdering them. Who's now serving prison time. Well, his former boss, owns the abortion clinic in Baton Rouge. So I can tell you, for them, it's about one thing: money.
Your bill mirrors the Mississippi law, which has been put on hold by a federal judge. Would you expect the same from the federal courts as well on our bill?
Well, it's a possibility that they could put it on hold. But this is the other thing. I've said this before. We should not refrain from doing the right thing today because somebody else may do the wrong thing tomorrow. We are legislators. We set forth laws to protect life and protect our freedoms, protect our constitutional rights. We're supposed to do our job. I don't think we should stop doing our job because federal courts may disagree. And I'm even concerned, and of course Senator Gaddy has fought this fight over in Bossier Parish. He had a lot of people say, well, just bow down, just cave in, let's shut down school prayer. Well, Senator Gaddy says, and his daughter, by the way, and actually his daughter and the kids over in Bossier, they're the ones that get the credit. They said, no, we're going to take this fight to the enemy. We need to do the same thing in abortion. We say, we are going to fight. We're not going to live in a culture of surrender to what federal judges might do. We're going to do the right thing today, realizing that we might be in a fist fight in the parking lot tomorrow.
Senator John Milkovich, let me ask you this. There were some pro-life senators who had concerns that your bill, if it were shelved by the courts, that it could impact the other laws we have in place. Can you address that?
Which are pretty strict,
and
right?
Actually, you know, there's getting a statute through the legislature is kind of a convoluted, sometimes contorted process. Basically, we have drafted amendments, and we've got to get them accepted. We've got to, fight through the process. But basically, our position is that we want to stop abortions after 15 weeks, and guess what? We want to stop all abortions. And we had drafted, and the Senate staff did a great job of drafting an amendment that says if this Roe v. Wade gets reversed, we would go back to a zero baseline. That's what I believe we should do, because killing these babies they're humans. They're small humans. They're defenseless humans. They're vulnerable. These are human beings. And when you see the videos of these little babies at 15 weeks and younger moving around in the womb, having eyes and hair, having cardio function, physiological function, being anatomically developed, these are human beings. And we've gotten way too casual about the murder of infants in our society. And I'll tell you what, we want Louisiana to be number one in this category, taking the fight to the abortion industry, shutting them down, and kicking their tails out of the state of Louisiana.
But let me.
Don't even say devil's advocate.
Okay, I won't
Don't
say that. I won't say
Don't
that.
do that.
But there are those who say that your bill's really not going to change how many abortions are in Louisiana because more than 90% of abortions in our state are to women before 15 weeks. Is that figure accurate? I mean, are you really going to make a difference?
I've heard that number, but I'll tell you what, if this bill stops or prohibits the murder of 100 babies, praise God for it. And I mean, if we said, well, we're going to go to Angola and there's 100 people that are innocent, but we're going to execute them anyway, people would be screaming bloody murder, and they should.
Why not go farther than 15 weeks? Why not go to 10? Why not go back to 10 weeks? Why not? What was the 15
Hey, I'm
week?
all for it. Listen, this is an ongoing war. The abortion cartel is relentless. They make a lot of money killing babies. I think we need to take the fight to them. And to your point, sure, I think let's take it back to zero. I don't think we should be killing any babies. We look at our society, we look at the breakdown of morality, we look at the violence in our streets, we look at the kids that have many of these kids just have an impaired sense of right and wrong. Well, you know what? What are we doing about it? We're teaching them, and through our culture, through our society, through the media, that it's okay to kill unborn babies, yet we want to tell them, by the way, the Sixth Commandment says, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill is God's law. It's the number one of the foundational premises of any free society and just society. We need to get back to the Sixth Commandment.
John, are you surprised, constantly surprised, as am I, by the number of African-American legislators who either vote against anti-abortion bills or vote absent, or are absent, rather? When the facts are that more African-American babies are aborted in America than what is it, like 1 million a year, right?
Well, Robert, I believe that our fight for life needs to cross racial lines, political party lines. I think it needs to span from the House to the legislature to the courts to the governor's office. I believe very strongly, and I believe you do too, we should all be united in this. There should not be racial division. And I will say this. The African-American pastors that I know in the state of Louisiana are 1,000% behind the ban behind banning abortion. The African American pastors in our state are 1,000% pro-life, and I'm proud of their moral stance and their community leadership. And I'm disappointed when legislators don't vote to protect human life. That's a great disappointment to me. But I think we just need to keep presenting our message that these babies are humans and reaching out to people and asking for people's help. I want the help of every legislator.
Mm-hmm.
If it was my way, 144 legislators would be co-authors on this bill, black, white, Democrat, Republican, House, Senate.
Senator John Milkovich, can't thank you enough for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Listen, thank you all for the important work that you're doing and getting these issues out there, Robert, Jay, and Erin. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. 753, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic's ready. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Hearn Avenue near Ford Street, and we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm and humid today and tonight with variable clouds, high 86 and low 69. A shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Walk-Ons Independence Bowl keeps its same game, date, and time as last year. ESPN announced their bowl lineup Tuesday with a local postseason game remaining, a December 27th tilt with a kickoff time of 12:30 p.m., the same as last December's game. The Shreveport Mudbugs board the team bus bound for the Metroplex this morning, up 2-0 in their best-of-5 division final series with Lone Star. The Bugs can clinch a spot in the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota next week with a win Friday or Saturday. If the Brahmas win both games, Game 5 would be played on George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum Sunday night. Utah squandered a 19-point first-half lead in Houston and then rallied in the final 8 minutes of the game to beat the Rockets 116-108 to even their series at one win apiece by outscoring Houston 16-2 down the stretch to steal home court advantage. Joe Ingles led the Jazz with 27 points. James Harden led Houston with 32, but he was just 2 of 10 from three-point land. Luis Severino threw a shutout in his first complete game shutout, and Giancarlo Stanton clobbered a pair of homers to give the Yankees a 4-0 win in Houston. And Edwin Encarnacion hit a 3-run homer, a 2-run homer, and a solo homer to power Cleveland's 12-4 win over Texas. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
$757, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. How much of what you just told me and Erin can you tell the audience listening?
Well, I just can say that a pretty reliable source has conveyed to me that there may or may not be a big announcement involving a yellow brick road tomorrow. That's
in other words.
But the February 12th date is in Omaha. That's Nebraska.
For Elton John, you're talking about.
If you see CenturyLink Center, Elton John, that right now, that's Omaha,
but
Nebraska.
Matt has heard from a reliable source, as you phrased it.
Several.
That CenturyLink and Bossier will be part of the Elton John tour.
That's what I'm hearing. Much like Erin, I have sources, and they're telling me things. So, ooh. We got to go.
We don't even. Do we have time to go?
Yeah, we can.
Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
All right, so we saw another pathetic attempt yesterday by the failed special prosecutor Robert Mueller to entice President Trump into sitting down for a perjury trap interview. Okay, if that's the rule, that means we'll follow Hillary's rules. And that means the interview will not be conducted under oath. It will not be recorded. It will not be transcribed in any way. Well, by the way, those are the Hillary rules. And before the interview, Mueller's team must agree to prepare an exoneration, just like they did for Hillary. And also, Mueller must agree to destroy any incriminating digital evidence that they may have against Trump. And they did that for Cheryl Mills. And, of course, you've got to appoint somebody to do the interview that's pro-Trump. Just like Peter Strzok interviewed Hillary.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Old Minden Road right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687 Road.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm and humid today and tonight with variable clouds, high 86 and low 69. A shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Gary Calligas and the Best of Times Radio Hour, every Saturday morning at 9:05. Next time, join Gary with special guest orthopedic surgeon Dr. Jason Kinkarts. Best of Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin, local news. She is getting ready.
Caddo commissioner wants his arraignment delayed. We'll talk more about that. Seniors might not be able to walk. We'll tell you more about that, too. And this is a day of prayer.
Scaring me with that not be able to walk thing. Should I get my medic alert? Should I just start?
Help, I've fallen.
You're scaring me. There was something I was going to say here, but I've forgotten. No, I'm just kidding. What's the latest on the bill making its way to the House floor that would parity fund University Health Hospital and the medical school? I'll give you guys an update. And I'm telling you, there's an announcement now today coming out of CenturyLink Center. We've got it narrowed down to a couple or three, or maybe just one.
And the lieutenant governor wants to make the French Quarter a state park.
Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's here this hour on KEEL.
Cawthorn. Arraignment in the case was delayed because Cawthorn is attempting to get former U.S. Attorney J. Ranzel Keene as his legal counsel. Cawthorn and his sister are accused of taking more than $500,000 from a federal program to feed underprivileged kids during the summer. While Cawthorn awaits his day in court, he was forced to surrender his passport. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Some high school seniors in Caddo Parish may not be able to walk the stage to graduate this time because of the end-of-year standardized testing. Seniors are not allowed to graduate without passing the state exit exam. So if they didn't make the grade the first time, the results of the retest may not be back before many schools hold their graduation ceremonies. Shreveport Representative Cedric Glover won support in the House Appropriations Committee for his bill to bring parity to funding for the state's safety net hospitals. It was a close vote, 9-8.
Tight votes in committee are not anything new, but if you expect us to accomplish something great, you've got to be willing to dare to take on the task. That's what we're doing right now. If we don't break through this year, we'll be back next year.
Glover says he wants to try and balance this out to bring some clarity and transparency to the funding problem. People all across the U.S. will come together in prayer today for National Prayer Day. The day, created under the Truman administration, is a day when people can come together in celebration of their God. Locally, several events will be held, including a prayer service at the Bossier Sheriff Substation on Viking Drive at noon. Lonnie Carroll faces life in prison after being convicted for raping a woman multiple times at knife point. A nurse testified in court the results of Carroll's attack on the 23-year-old woman was the worst she'd ever seen in her medical career. He faces mandatory life. More than 35,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Kroger stores recalled due to plastic being in the meat. Any meat bearing the establishment number 34176 inside the USDA mark of inspection is being recalled. You can get details on this recall at KEELnews.com. The DeSoto School Board set to officially name the new superintendent today. Last month, the board narrowed the list of finalists to 3. Clay Corley, Eddie Jones, and Kathy Noel are left in the running to replace Dr. Cade Brumley, who's now superintendent in Jefferson Parish. A concealed carry on campus bill has passed in the House. The bill allows school visitors with a concealed carry permit to possess a gun while on campus, but does not allow school officials or students with a permit to carry. Baton Rouge Representative Denise Marcel says allowing concealed handguns on campus would detract from educators' time with students.
Do you realize how much time this could take for a principal to take away or a teacher to take away from instructional matters in order to identify whether or not this person should or should not have a weapon on campus?
The bill is now headed to the Senate. Meantime, a bill to allow students to wear bulletproof backpacks is set for final passage after clearing the House Education Committee. The legislation, inspired by the Parkland, Florida shooting, got unanimous support. West Monroe Republican Mike Walsworth says something needs to be done about the lack of safety for our children.
We thought that having an officer at a school would work, but in Florida it didn't. He went the other way. Right now, they can't have any protection. No kid.
The bill now moves to the House floor. Louisiana inching toward one of the most restrictive abortion policies in the country. The House Criminal Justice Committee has approved a ban on abortion after 15 weeks that would only take effect after a legal battle over a similar policy plays out in Mississippi. The Senate-approved bill moves next to the House floor, and Governor John Bel Edwards says he will sign it. LSU coach Ed Orgeron in Houston for the LSU football caravan stop at the Touchdown Club, and lots of fans are asking about the quarterback situation. Coach O says the battle to be the starter is pretty much even right now between Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse.
Justin probably had the best spring game, but there were some other times the other guys had the better scrimmages. So we're going to put their full body of work together. Coach Enn's making our staff. We're going to make the decision. Hopefully it's a no-brainer. Hopefully the guy wins it in August, but we'll see.
New ice cream flavor in New Jersey. A dairy farm now serving up Taylor ham ice cream. It mixes in French toast with actual pieces of pork roll. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
11 past 8 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Time for traffic. Ruben's ready.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Old Minden Road right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Toxic masculinity is seeping. It's enveloping this entire room.
Yeah, we're the crazy ones.
Yeah, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line is, as always, 318-392-1884. I had put in the last hour when we were talking about the fact that they're going to face the kickoff out of football. And turning into maybe it will either be totally eliminated or to save jobs of special teams coaches and players, they'll probably punt.
So they're going to play it like a safety now.
Basically what they're going to do is they're going to have a neutral zone, and the players will line up like 10 yards apart like they do now. But the offensive team, the receiving team blockers, will have to run backwards from like their own 40 or 45 yard line and won't be able to hit anybody until they're inside the 30 or the 35. I'm telling you, they're working on a chain.
Are they going to bark like dogs too? Maybe do some card tricks?
The facts speak for themselves. It's the most dangerous play in the game.
Wah.
Okay, there is on the Keel Facebook page basically what I just said. Want to know who you agree with. Do you think? Do you line up behind Matt, who says they're making $20 million a year, they know what they're signing up for, and if they want to throw away their lives to CTE or Alzheimer's or other sort of brain injuries past the age of 40 or 45, they know what they're doing, and they're signing up for it with their free will? I just want to know. Now, back to CenturyLink Center.
It's we have it. We can't say it until 9 o'clock.
Wait.
It's not Elton John.
Is it who else Matt said?
No.
Really, it's not either of those.
You can start guessing, and I can say yay or nay.
Okay,
if you like.
so we saw. And
try to ask 10 questions.
It's been on social media for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
That Elton John farewell tour was going to play at CenturyLink Center in February of next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody said, "Oh, wait. Then there's a CenturyLink Center in Omaha, and that's where he's going to be."
Yeah.
Which is true. But then on the CenturyLink site and a bunch of other ticket sites, there was big announcement, final tour, retirement tour, etc. And so we kind of assumed through the course of the morning that it was going to be an Elton John announcement, another which would be like he's played twice, he canceled once, so this would be sort of the fourth time.
Right. Check the link I just sent you in the email, Matt, and see if it's on the Ticketmaster site. If it is, then we can announce it.
And it's not Elton John.
Nope.
The big announcement, CenturyLink Center said, big announcement this morning, Thursday morning, the 3rd at about 9 o'clock.
It's not Elton John. I know who it is now.
It's not.
It's not.
How do you know?
How do I know? Because I have a release.
Then why can't you announce it?
Well,
Because
it's
it
the
says
embargoed.
embargo until 9 a.m.
Embargo? What are you? What are you, the Barbary Pirates? What the hell?
I'm not going to release it until they say release it. Or
Okay,
I won't
but
get
if I-
these
but if-
before
but if-
anymore.
Oh no!
Our
You mean
people won't get these anymore. We
won't-
lose money on
you
this.
You mean you won't be getting emails that you can't read?
Right, until 9 a.m.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, we're off the air at 9.
I know.
So it's not Elton John.
No.
It's not Guns N' Roses.
It's not
any of the,
Guns N' Roses.
No.
It's
And
not any of the internet rumors we've seen.
And it's not Kiss.
No.
But it's a huge act.
Huge.
Really?
Well, in some circles, I would say.
Oh, huge.
Would it be an artist that would primarily be played on? If I get it, will you tell me? Or will
Not
you
on
just-
the radio.
will you just-
I'll make a face. You can watch our Facebook feed. I'll make a face
Okay.
if you want. Yeah.
Would it be an artist that would primarily be played on KVKI? Would it be an artist that would primarily be played on K94.5?
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Would it be an artist that would be played on Highway?
No.
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 So it's a KVK artist and it's a male.
I didn't say that.
Is it a male?
No.
So it's a female that might be played on KVKI, but it's not going to be Christina Aguilera.
Hmm. Hmm.
If it's not somebody, it doesn't say that you can't say
It's
that.
not Christina Aguilera.
It doesn't say your no's are embargoed. Your yes is embargoed.
It's
Bob,
not Christina Aguilera.
I will tell you, it's someone that you're not going to be excited about,
But I am.
but she will.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
So
Oh,
Britney,
yeah, my friends will be
Britney Spears
crazy.
is coming back.
No, it ain't BS.
Is it someone?
Oh, it's BS, but it's not. Yeah, no.
Hush.
Is it someone? I'm not going to get for anything from that. Oh, so it's Pink. Is it someone over the age? Is it Pink?
What time is it? We got to take a break, don't we?
Is it Pink?
I don't know anything about what it is.
18 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben, and he's on Keel.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Old Minden Road right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
20 past 8. KEEL Sports. Here's Fledge.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Walk-Ons Independence Bowl keeps its same game, date, and time as last year. ESPN announced their bowl lineup Tuesday with a local postseason game remaining, a December 27th tilt with a kickoff time of 12:30 p.m., the same as last December's game. The Shreveport Mudbugs board the team bus bound for the Metroplex this morning, up 2-0 in their best-of-5 division final series with Lone Star. The Bugs can clinch a spot in the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota next week with a win Friday or Saturday. If the Brahmas win both games, Game 5 would be played on George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum Sunday night. Utah squandered a 19-point first-half lead in Houston and then rallied in the final 8 minutes of the game to beat the Rockets 116-108 to even their series at 1 win apiece by outscoring Houston 16-2 down the stretch to steal home court advantage. Joe Ingles led the Jazz with 27 points. James Harden led Houston with 32, but he was just 2 of 10 from three-point land. Luis Severino threw a shutout in his first complete game shutout, and Giancarlo Stanton clobbered a pair of homers to give the Yankees a 4-0 win in Houston. And Edwin Encarnacion hit a 3-run homer, a 2-run homer, and a solo homer to power Cleveland's 12-4 win over Texas. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-three past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright. It's Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. So the state is going to get into the strip club business.
Oh dear God.
Which I think is an awesome idea. No, I'm totally serious.
No, the state is not
The state
getting
is
into the
going
stripping
to. The
business.
state is. Yes, they are.
Did you hear what he told us yesterday?
The state is going to oversee all the strip clubs and bars on Bourbon Street. All the strip clubs, everything in. Okay.
This was kind of shocking.
It's kind of nutty.
Idiotic.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Mr. Billy. If Billy Nungesser ran for governor, I might vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being 100% right.
Yep.
If Billy Nungesser ran for whatever, I would probably. I love Billy Nungesser.
Mm-hmm.
Billy's kind of cool. But this is nutty.
This is out there.
This is the ravings. Never mind. I'm going to stop there.
Not of a madman.
Because you'll make my phone ring.
The ravings of a man I might vote for if he ran for governor. But we had Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser on yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I thought about this all day yesterday, and I thought about the how exactly you would do this and what control the state would have and what just the butterfly effect, you know,
Yeah.
the collateral effect.
Damage.
Yeah. So this is, if you didn't hear this, this is
What's he thinking?
He wasn't.
His pasty collection is running short. So
His pasty collection?
We gotta go.
Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say that at all. So the point being, this is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser yesterday putting forth this idea for a sort of an agreement between the state of Louisiana and the city of New Orleans.
Now, New Orleans is always going to be the draw, and that's why we're looking at one option, thinking outside the box, but we're talking to city officials about the possibility of making the French Quarter a state park. because the only way we're going to clean up the French Quarter and make it family friendly again is if we get rid of the crime, clean up the streets, and make it something like the Main Street in Crowley, where it's impressive.
Now, did I mention I would
make the French Quarter a state park? What does he mean? Just a little square where
I don't know.
In front of the church?
I don't know.
Does he mean the whole place where you got the boobies bouncing and stuff?
I don't know. Does that include? I mean, the French Quarter is a rather spacious area.
Cafe Du Monde is a public park now?
I don't know.
We're in the free donut business?
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh God.
We could get him back.
What does he mean?
I don't know, but he's evidently, according to Mr. Billy, there are talks going on with officials in New Orleans about making the French Quarter a state park.
Well, I reached out to the incoming mayor, LaToya Cantrell, yesterday, to all her people, all the tentacles I could put out, to say the lieutenant governor made some interesting comments. We'd like your to hear your side, because she takes over as mayor on Monday in New Orleans, first female mayor of New Orleans. I thought, let's see if we could schedule her some time.
Communist mayor of New Orleans, but
oh, come on,
she is. Look at her background. But go ahead.
On. I haven't heard back yet from her. So waiting.
Here's the deal. New Orleans has problems, and they have problems that have increased and exacerbated under the Landrieu regime. Crime has gotten. There's a whole bunch of problems New Orleans has.
Mm-hmm.
But to say we need to make the French Quarter family friendly.
Let's take the one thing people love about New Orleans, which is alcohol and food, and take that away.
Family I mean, there are parts that are. But is the appeal of New Orleans, specifically the French Quarter, based on let's load up the kids and go to Bourbon Street?
The closest I took my kids to the French Quarter when they were little
was Gretna.
We went to Cafe Du Monde.
Yes.
Then we went to the corner of Bourbon Street and Royal, I think, and I took a picture.
Bourbon and Royal run parallel.
Excuse me. What's the other
Canal.
one? Yeah, Canal. No, it wasn't that far down. It was closer to the Cafe Du Monde. But anyway, took a picture of them standing in front of the Bourbon Street sign so they can say they'd been to Bourbon Street. But we didn't walk down that street. Oh, no.
It's not the place you want to take your kids at night, but that's part of the charm of New Orleans. I mean,
let me adamantly disagree. It's not part of the charm. It's all of the charm.
Fair enough.
Wait. Are you saying Bourbon Street is all of the charm of New Orleans?
I'm saying no. He's saying the charm of the French Quarter is, to a great degree, adult-oriented things, and I'm not necessarily talking about strip clubs and all of the stuff you see on Bourbon Street. Understand, I avoid Bourbon Street as though it were Bourbon Street. But the point being that a lot of the things, you go to New Orleans to do grown-up things. And I'm not talking about illicit or things that break commandments.
You want to drink whiskey and listen to jazz.
Exactly.
You don't want to go, oh, look at this pretty statue. There's other parts of the city and state that you can do that in.
There's a lot of cool things to do in New Orleans. But the reason I go to New Orleans is, like Matt said, have a couple of drinks, listen to great music, and do grown-up things.
And eat some great food.
And you don't want to put the 5-year-olds in the back of the van. And
there are great things for families in New Orleans.
Exactly.
And
but
in
not
the French Quarter.
Just,
yeah, there are some.
Okay.
I've done them. I've been there.
Just don't do it at night and leave my bars alone.
Yeah, daytime only.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a major accident on Union Avenue near West 70th Street. And we're still looking at some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
of information. KEEL News now.
This is the National Prayer Day. The day was created under the Truman administration back in 1952. It's a day when people can come together in celebration of their God. Locally, several events will be held, including a prayer service at the Bossier Sheriff Substation on Viking Drive. That's set for noon. Two bills that would expand access to medical marijuana are close to being put into law after moving through the full House and now being passed by a Senate committee. One would allow some children with autism, if prescribed, access to the treatment. The bill's sponsor, Harvey Representative Rodney Lyons, says he was moved by an appeal from his constituents.
They're not looking for a miracle, and this will probably be the last places I would come for a miracle. But they're coming here to get help. They're coming here because they have a need, and they're advocating for us to help them.
The other bill would add other new conditions to the 10 already in place, including PTSD, to the list of those who can be prescribed. A federal judge postpones arraignment for Caddo Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn. Arraignment delayed because Cawthorn is trying to get former U.S. Attorney Randy Keene as his legal counsel. Cawthorn and his sister are accused of taking more than $500,000 from a federal program to feed underprivileged kids during the summer. Testing might delay some students' graduation. Matt Parker with that.
Some high school seniors in Caddo Parish may not be able to graduate on time this year due to end-of-year standardized testing. Seniors are not allowed to graduate without passing the state exit exam. So if they didn't make the grade the first time, the results of the retest may not be back before many schools hold their graduation ceremonies. Some schools may allow students to walk with their classmates without receiving the results. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The DeSoto School Board set to officially name their new superintendent of schools today. Last month, the board narrowed the list to 3, Kathy Noel, Eddie Jones, and Clay Corley. They're in the running to replace Dr. Cade Brumley, who's now superintendent in Jefferson Parish. Louisiana schools would no longer be gun-free zones under a measure that won approval in the House. After a heated debate, lawmakers voted 59 to 36 for a bill that would allow visitors with concealed carry permits to carry guns on school campuses. The bill to bring parity to funding for our state's safety net hospitals passes in committee. State Representative Cedric Glover telling KEEL News he will continue pushing for change.
Let's be committed to doing what's necessary in order to try and balance this out, bring to this process the transparency that it deserves, and then figure out if we have the gumption to try and figure out how we balance this out so that Shreveport and Monroe can get its fair share to do the job that it has to do the same way the rest of the state.
Numbers show the New Orleans hospital gets 156% reimbursement, while Shreveport gets 79%. Glover says we must address the disparity. More than 35,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Kroger stores nationwide recalled due to plastic being in the meat. Any meat bearing the establishment number 34176 inside the USDA mark of inspection is being recalled. You can get more details on this at KeelNews.com. As Stephen Paddock was unleashing a hail of gunfire in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, people inside a Las Vegas hotel continued to gamble. Police body camera footage made public now shows officers passing people still playing slot machines inside the Mandalay Bay on October 1st, while in a tower above, Paddock was shooting into a crowd, killing 58 people and wounding hundreds more. LSU coach Ed Orgeron in Houston for the football caravan stop, and Tiger fans in the Longhorn State are asking about the quarterback situation. Now, Coach O says he's very confident the offense will succeed under new coordinator Steve Ensminger. He says the longtime assistant's been working hard.
I had to tell the staff to go home. I think they pretended that they went home, went around the block, and they came back, and they worked through midnight. And he's a relentless worker. He promised he was going to do it. He's done it. We still have a lot of offense to put in. It's all going to depend on what quarterback we have.
And those in the running to be quarterback, Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Look on the Keel Facebook page. See if we've gotten any comments worth mentioning on the NFL kickoff.
We got a few.
Read a couple of those. The NFL eventually, look, just write this down. The National Football League will eliminate the kickoff from the game. They may change it to a punt type play. They may change it to just you get the ball at the 30 or the 35-yard line or something.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the statistical data that says it is without a doubt the most dangerous play in the game, not only for brain injuries, not only for head injuries, but for injuries it's going away. You can tell by the league said, well, we're keeping the kickoff through 2020. Well, if you're going to keep something, that means eventually you plan to get rid of it, at least the way they phrased that.
That's true.
So, comments. What do we have there, Parky? Anything worth talking about?
Keep the kickoff. It's safer now due to rule changes than it was even 10 years ago. The NFL needs to leave things alone. It's not the injuries that make kickoffs suck, or punts for that matter. It's the penalties. More often than not, the play is called back due to a penalty. Totally sucks the life out of the play. And then some guy has a long piece where he basically says instead of changing rules, the NFL should encourage players not to drink, pop pills, or do drugs.
The only reason they do that is because of the kickoffs.
Oh,
839, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's traffic. Ruben's ready.
Just received reports of a major accident on Union Avenue near West 70th Street. And we're still looking at some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Variable clouds, warm and humid today and tonight. We'll have a high of 86 today and a low of 69 tonight. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Oh, yeah, that camera thing. 1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 841. We had talked about this a little bit in the 6 o'clock hour, and I mentioned at the time, it's not that I am, well, I guess I am kind of ignorant of how schools, I don't have kids.
Right.
So I've never been a doting PTA type, had the opportunity to be a PTA dad.
I've been a helicopter mom.
And so when it comes to how schools work, I really don't know. And I cite as an example some of the failing schools, bluntly put, failing test-wise schools in Shreveport.
Sure.
And there was one that I don't remember which one it was, and it got like a 55 or a 58 or something like that. And everybody was in an uproar saying, oh, my God, 50, that's horrible. We have all these failing schools. It's horrible. And I had made the point based on my ignorance of how education works. But I said, let's at least consider the fact, let's at least for a moment think about the possibility that because of the sociological implications, because of kids' backgrounds and advantages, or rather disadvantages, and home life and single parent, and there's a million sociological things, maybe, just maybe, and I don't know, I'm literally saying I don't know. Maybe the school sucks. Maybe the reason they got 58 is because it's horrible. But maybe, just maybe, the fact that those kids got a 58 is because some of the greatest teaching, some of the hands-on care of a child in an academic situation that you would ever see. Maybe those are, like, bluntly put, Kids that otherwise would have gotten a 30 or a 35 or a 40.
Because of the school, they got a 58.
Maybe those teachers teached their ass off so that those kids got a 58. Maybe that was the most incredible teaching job in the state. I don't know.
Then what went wrong with those children prior to getting to school?
Look.
And what can we do to help?
It goes back to Cade Brumley, okay? Look, let me start here. Since the 1970s or 80s, we have increased entitlement spending by 230%.
Oh, you bet.
Okay? The poverty rate's the same. You can only throw money, and education is a perfect example. The cost per student ratio. The cities, the municipalities, the metropolitan areas, and we're going to get to that spend the most money on education are not the ones with the highest scores. But it goes back to what Cade Brumley told us before he went down south. What Cade told us about, and I'm not going to mention the school specifically in DeSoto Parish. He said, I have a school in DeSoto Parish where kids come into kindergarten and they can't count to 10 and they don't know colors and they don't have basic reasoning skills. And in some instances, he told us they don't know their names. Now, before we get into these numbers, just remember, maybe, just maybe, that 58 is a result of the greatest teachers in America. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying, before we start condemning people and a system, look, we can talk about the system all day. But the point being, it's at least a possibility that 58 was a pretty good number, you know?
Right.
So, proficiency in math. 8th grade, 2017 National Association of Education. In other words, what percentage of 8th graders across the country have a proficiency of an 8th grader in mathematics? And these are the major metropolitan areas across America. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I threw some numbers at you, and you were stunned. So let's start. Well, what do you think of the major metropolitan areas in the country? What do you think the percentage of 8th graders who have an 8th grade proficiency in math is? You would think, 70?
I would say 60.
75. Charlotte, North Carolina, 41%.
And that's the best performing?
Of the major metro areas in America. Charlotte, North Carolina.
41%?
Just about 4 out of 10 8th graders are having 4 out of 10 8th graders have an 8th grade proficiency in math. Austin, Texas, number 2, 38%. San Diego, number 3, 36. Boston, number 4 at 33. Guilford County, North Carolina, that's Greensboro, I think, 31. The largest, New York City, is 28.
28% of 8th graders proficient at math.
Chicago, 27. Denver, 26.
What's Dallas? Someplace near us.
Let's head down to the bottom. What do you say?
Okay.
8th graders who have an 8th grade proficiency in mathematics. Detroit, 5%.
They're at the bottom.
Fresno, California, 11%. Baltimore, 11. Cleveland, 11. Basically, it's 10% or less of 8th graders have 8th grade skills in math.
Golly.
Milwaukee, 12. Shelby County, is that Birmingham, I think? 12%. Philadelphia, 16. Fort Worth, 19. Atlanta, 19. Dallas, 20. Los Angeles.
Wait, Dallas was 20?
Yeah.
20% of Dallas students, 8th graders, proficient in math.
Have an 8th grade proficiency in math. Houston, 24. It's so you tell me. I told you. Remember I told you not too long ago, not that long ago, a former teacher told me that because of the bureaucracy, because of the layers of governmental involvement, and I think in this case, this person was pointing toward federal rules, etc. But I was kind of reading between the lines. But what this former teacher told me was, literally, she said, the only hope for education in America, the only hope for the education system in America is Little House on the Prairie schoolhouses.
Wow.
That you need that the local control has to be that great. Because look, you can blame the schools, you can blame the system, you can blame the teachers, you can blame anything. You can blame the parents or lack of parenting, you can blame the kids. But the point is, the system is in place. The system is not going to change. What did we learn yesterday? What conclusion did we draw from Republican wannabe Greg Tarver, who said, about the bureaucracy will never reduce itself.
It will just cut things that will harm the people.
It will propagate itself. It exists to feed the monster, feed the beast.
Yeah.
So those are the numbers. I don't know enough about it to draw a concrete conclusion. I'm not sure anybody can. But the system's in place from the top to the bottom. And evidently something's got to change.
Yeah.
849, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Let's have a little traffic. Here's a lot of Reuben.
Still keeping an eye on a major accident on Union Avenue near West 70th Street. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
They can hear you. My mic's on. It's 8:50. Here comes Your Money Now on Keel.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
The Iowa legislature has approved a bill that would ban all abortion in that state after a heartbeat is detectable. That essentially would ban all abortions after the 6th week of pregnancy.
And yesterday, a bill that would make Louisiana the most restrictive state in America for abortions cleared another hurdle as it gained momentum, moving toward the possible final passage. In fact, John Milkovich's bill would be considered the most restrictive because it includes criminal penalties as well. And not only that, John Bel Edwards says he is inclined to sign it.
More and more states across the country are putting together laws that will challenge Roe v. Wade in an effort to end abortion in America.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel and streaming live at keelnews.com.
Hey there, Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty for Twin City Appliance. You know, online at twincityappliance.com. Now, you had they came.
I love them.
They came to your house.
They did come to my house.
Those are some gutsy people.
Well, you know, it is a little bit of a problem when you have 4 inches of ice in the bottom of your freezer. And,
Did you stab it with a
No, don't stab it. I've already killed one refrigerator, so I didn't want to kill another. So I called Twin City Appliance.
The Norman Bates, the Norman Bates of household appliances.
And my Twin City guy looked at me and he said, "This is an easy fix, but it's a 48-hour fix. So you're going to have to empty your fridge, let it defrost, let the drain defrost, and your problem will be fixed." But the good thing about Twin City Appliance is that in 48 hours, and you put all your stuff back in, and that the problem's not fixed, we have a 30-day service call. So if our fix today that I'm telling you to do doesn't work, call us back. We come back and find out what the other problem might be, and it's free. So if what he told me to do the other day, empty all my crap out and defrost my 4 inches of ice.
I don't think he phrased it like that. You got
He
crap
didn't.
out of it. You got crap. Why are your shoes in the freezer?
Then my problem will be... Don't tell people I'll keep my shoes.
I apologize.
Stop.
Okay. But they're closed-toed shoes.
If you've got an appliance that is on the blink or the brink, give Twin City Appliance a call today.
Let me wrap this up. You just take a breath.
Please do.
I almost said take a breast. 318-688-0253. That's 318-688-0253. Or online at twincityappliance.com. Oop, gotta go. Back. We do gotta go.
Download the app because at 9 o'clock we're going to tell you who's coming to the CenturyLink Center.
And they'll send you like
with our app, a push notification.
A push notification.
It's going directly out at 9.
Pushing you a notification out of here.
Push me out the door.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Kim Commando.
The number one cell phone complaint is weak signals inside homes and offices. So today, 3 ways to boost your signal. I'm Kim Commando with your Thursday Digital Consumer Tech Update. The fastest and least expensive way to get a stronger in-home signal is to use your home or office Wi-Fi. All 4 major carriers, T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon, now support Wi-Fi calling on their phones. Simply go to your phone settings and turn it on. Next, get a cellular signal booster. Put it in an area where you already have a good signal, and it will boost the signal to the rest of your home or office. Third-party companies like Z-Boost and WeBoost sell them. They cost around $200. Finally, the femtocell, or what's called a microcell. It plugs directly into your router and provides a strong cell signal for anyone in range. If you have no usable signal, and if you complain loud enough, the cellular company will usually give this one to you for free. Get all the tech news updated 24/7 at news.commando.com. That's KOMANDO. If you have a favorite car or truck that you've driven for years, one you just want to keep going, let me introduce you to a new product called Tribotex. We've all heard claims of miracle auto products that boost mileage, make your engine run better, and last longer. For lots of reasons, they never live up to the hype. But now, there's Tribotex, a breakthrough reverse wear product made with something called anisotropic nanoparticles. Tribotex nanoparticles bond to your engine surfaces. They increase compression, engine noise is reduced, horsepower increases, and fuel economy rises in engines with more than 130,000 miles. Tribotex nanoparticles literally repair engine wear in as little as 15 minutes after application. It was developed by U.S. academia and supported by our federal government. You don't need a mechanic because it's easier than adding a quart of oil. Tribotex works in most types of engines. Tribotex.com. Tribotex.com.
Still keeping an eye on a major accident on Union Avenue near West 70th Street, and we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687.
Here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of cloudy. We do have a chance of rain later today, but warm again today, low to middle 80s. Right now, 73 at Keel, 9 o'clock, Fox News time.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.